What's going on, YouTube? My name is Anthony Russo, and I want to give a quick reaction to the Texans-Patriots game. Just ended about 10-15 minutes ago. Uh, Not much surprise. Patriots did what they had to do, and they dominated the Texans, especially in the second half. Tom Brady had not a perfect game. A couple bad throws. Certainly not the Tom Brady that we've seen uh, for the most part of the regular season. But he still had a great game. Still threw for, I think he got to 300 yards and a couple touchdowns. So he had a good game. And Brock Osweiler had the game that I expected him to have: three interceptions, less than 200 yards. Um, just not a good game for him. Not a good game for the offense. Will Fuller had that terrible drop in the end zone. Um, just overall not a good night for the Texans. Their defense, however, did do well. They put up a hell of a fight, and again, especially in the first half, they were very competitive, um, and they were a force to be reckoned with, and they should be commended for that. Um, I don't, this now Twitter's kind of thinking about it. Should Bill O'Brien stick around? There were reports that he might be let go if the Texans didn't perform well. There were reports that he was possibly being shopped around. Perhaps a trade was going to happen. Perhaps they would just fire him and opt to go in a different direction. So there's multiple rumors going around with Bill O'Brien, but I don't think he should be let go. Um, as much as I don't think he's done that great of a job, I think there have been a lot of reasons why the Texans have struggled, and I don't think he's the reason for that. I think um, now it's going to be crucial what happens with Osweiler here. But I don't think I would give him another season. Um, and I think if the Texans, what they should do is cut Osweiler by June 1st, because by cutting him by June 1st, I think it's June 1st, they don't get the hit to their cap from his contract for next season. So they'll have the cap space available rather than having to have that added to their cap um, in the next season. So I would cut Osweiler, and I would do everything in my power. Bob McNair and Bill O'Brien, and the Texans management, everything that they can do to get Tony Romo to Houston. Um, I think he is their best option. I don't think Savage is ready yet to be the guy. Um, I don't know if he'll ever be the guy, frankly, but I don't think he's ready. I think if you give Savage another year behind a Tony Romo, especially while this Texans roster, that they are in a uh, win now mood. This is a win now roster. A lot of guys, are starting to hit their prime. Guys like J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins and Whitney Merciless, and Clowney is finally coming along as was expected when he was drafted a couple years ago. Um, so this Texans team is ready to win now, and Bill O'Brien is ready to win now. I think bringing in a guy like Romo, who's able to get the ball to the playmakers on offense, the Hopkins and the Fullers and those guys, and Lamar Miller coming out of the backfield. Um, I think this is the time to make this type of move. Get a guy like Romo, who probably only has one or two good years left. You get Romo there, and he's able to he doesn't have to be the hero on offense. And that's why I think this can work for him. He doesn't have to be the Romo that he's been in Dallas, having to make plays, having to bail out his defense. That doesn't have to happen in Houston because they already have a top 5 defense. They already have a unit that can hold their opponents to less than 20 points. And I mean, even we saw again in the first half, they held Tom Brady, to 17 points, but hard earned 17 points. Um, Now the second half, it sort of got away from them, but a lot of that I would say was the fault of Osweiler's 3 second half interceptions, and just a lot of other mistakes from the Texans offense and drops and things of that nature. Um, so I don't. I think that the defense is ready to go to a Super Bowl. And again, the offense is just almost there. They just need a quarterback to lead them there, and I think Romo, if he's not required to have to be the best player on the team, then yeah, I think he can do that for them. Um, so that's what I would do. As for the Patriots, again, this victory was not surprising in the least. This is about how I expected it to go down. Osweiler eventually, caving into his inconsistency and throwing a couple interceptions, and Brady having a stellar night. Again, not a perfect night, but a good night, especially, in the second half. He, you know, kicked it up a notch and was the Tom Brady that we saw this season. Um, so next week they'll either play the Steelers or the Chiefs. We'll see. I'll break down that matchup when we learn who they face. Um, but I think the Patriots are very likely, regardless of who wins, to be heading to the Super Bowl. I hate saying that. That pains me as a Jets fan. There's my Jets photo right there. Um, but it's just the fact of the matter. Tom Brady is Tom Brady, and Julian Edelman had a fantastic night, over 100 yards receiving. He was having a great game, and this offense is really good. This defense had a great game. Now again, it was against Brock Osweiler, but the defense played very well. They got a few sacks. They had a few interceptions. Special teams had a touchdown. Don't see that from the Patriots often, but sure enough, they got that. Deion Lewis had a great game. Became the first or the third player to have a rushing, receiving, and kickoff return for a touchdown. The other two, Tyreek Hill, who did it earlier this season, and good old Gale Sayers from the old school Chicago Bears. So great game for him. And the Patriots, obviously, and I don't think anybody's surprised by this, but the Patriots are a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see where that goes. And similar to what Kyle Shanahan did earlier in the Atlanta game, Josh McDaniels is making the case that he ought to be the top dog for the 49ers job. Personally, I would still say Shanahan is my favorite to get that job, but Josh McDaniels would be a fine pick, I think, as well. Um, so let me know what you guys think. What you think of this game? What you think of today's games as a whole? If you haven't already, check out my Seahawks Falcons reaction video I posted not long ago. By the time you're watching this, it'll probably have been up for a couple hours. But let me know what you guys think. Um, just the Patriots are still the Patriots, and Brock Osweiler is still Brock Osweiler. That's my main reaction from this. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.